Jerry, thanks so much for joining us and for opening up your campus, not only to us, but to FFA. It's just a cool thing every spring, every April. A sea of Blue Jackets come here on the campus. It's just a wonderful partnership, and I think that it's probably a lot of fun for you guys to see all these high school kids on campus as well.
Oh, absolutely, James. You know, it goes back a long way for me. It's part of who we are, is to have FFA here in April of every spring. It's just, it's like Little I, it's like Hobo Day. It's that part of that important to our culture.
It's awesome to be here with you, Jerry. We spent a lot of time together when I was state FFA officer. Just talk a little bit about, you've had a tremendous career in FFA. Started, I'm assuming, when you were a pretty young person, all the way through what you're doing now with the foundation. So just let's go back to the beginning. How'd you get started in FFA, and what did that look like when you were a kiddo?
You bet. So I was actually just telling the state officer candidates that I think when my kids will claim that if I get a cut, I bleed blue and gold, because FFA is so important to me, and it's been a big part of my life. And my story actually starts when I was a freshman in high school. I had a senior come up to me right before school started. Basketball was in the fall, and she came up to me in basketball practice and said, "So Jerry, you gonna be in ag class and FFA?" And I said, "No, I'm not gonna be a farmer. Why would I do that?" Literally, and she's like, so she started badgering me. She's like, "No, but you can travel, you can do all kinds of things. You're in 4-H, you like to stroll livestock, why wouldn't you do that?" "But I don't intend to farm." "That doesn't matter. There's still things for you that are gonna benefit you and help you help your future." So I said, "Well, I don't know, I'll think about it. There's no other girls in class. I don't think I wanna take it." Because I was a 14-year-old, didn't wanna do it. And she's like, "If I find another girl, will you do it?" Okay, fine. I knew she wasn't gonna find another girl in our small class to do it. The girl that moved into town, she called me later that afternoon. She said, "Lena's gonna be in ag class." Fine, I'll do it. 2 weeks later, I was hooked. I was in love with FFA and agriculture education, and that was the start of it all. And I thank Joan Nold, who was later elected that year state officer, now lives in Colorado, from Gettysburg, for getting me involved in it. And I think that's so important. And I keep telling our youth today that they need to reach out to those younger students and share what FFA is all about, because it is about production agriculture, but it's about so much more too. It's about the science behind agriculture. It's about advocating for an industry that we believe in and we want to be there in the future. It's about helping those farmers find better crops, better livestock genetics, better equipment to make their lives easier. It's not just about the production agriculture, which is so important, but it's all about supporting people behind them as well.
All right, so Ms. Carter, you are an ag teacher and FFA advisor in Canton, is that right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, how long have you been doing that?
This is my first year at Canton, but my third year teaching overall.
Third year teaching, so you're kind of a glutton for punishment.
A little bit, yep.
A little bit.
Yep.
What made you go into ag education, and what's made you stay for a few years?
I was actually my high school ag teacher. She just really saw something that I didn't see at the time. Just kind of volunteered me for things, and then suddenly I loved FFA, I loved being a part of it, and just kind of helping me grow as a human being. And then that's kind of carried over as I go into teaching, seeing those light bulb moments for those students, helping them find passions, whether it be for a career or just a hobby in their lifetime. That's really motivated me to continue to teach.
That's awesome. Talk a little bit about where you went to high school, that teacher, and then kind of what led you into being an ag teacher.
Yeah, so I went to high school in Platteville, Wisconsin. It's about in the southwest corner. It's definitely Wisconsin, very heavy dairy state. So she helped me find my first job, actually, with getting to meet with a local farmer, going through that, and it was a lot of fun. Get to hang out with cows every day. Yeah. And then she introduced me to parliamentary procedure. I'd never heard of it before, and then she just told me one day, "So you're gonna be here tomorrow, 7 a.m., we'll start going over Parley Pro." however many years later. That's my favorite thing to do. I've been able to judge it at a national level, and she was the one that sparked that for me. I teach food science, so being able to kind of pull directly from that curriculum to help and advance that particular team. Ag business, we've helped quite a bit. Both Russ, my co-advisor, and I kind of share that with the two. Yeah, and just kind of practicing with things, going over practicing tests, all that good stuff.
Right. Johnny Halverson, full disclosure, my nephew. You're here at the State FFA Convention representing what chapter?
Canton FFA chapter.
Canton FFA, and you actually hold a leadership position with them too. You're an officer, is that right? Chapter reporter, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. And so what are you doing here at the State Convention?
I am competing in the farm business management competition.
Farm business management. That sounds like sort of a tough competition. Explain a little bit of what you do in farm business management.
It requires a lot of math calculations, and we have a lot of general questions that deal with marketing and bases and all sorts of calculations within marketing stuff, and then we have to figure out a lot of balance sheets, cash flows, all sorts of fun stuff.
Hi, my name is JC Jones. I am the host today from the Faith FFA chapter. As a chapter, we believe that FFA teaches you important skills such as communication and leadership.
Hi, my name is Dakota Harry. FFA builds leaders through leadership positions.
FFA helps students find their career paths through career development events.
You can find more info at www.ffa.org.
My experience in FFA really was very local heavy for a long time. Being a part of a lot of community service type projects at the local level, helping different programs like agriculture education type components. We'd go to the local elementary school, all those type of, presentations that we would do to help people be more well versed in what the agriculture industry was doing. Being at the district level, got to go to several events and realize that I could help planning and help meeting those folks that can help better all of our students in our organization. So that's kind of where it really started to shift, was that interaction at the district level, being a district officer then. And what I found too in my process is that the speaking side of things, I got better as a communicator and public speaker when I listened better, right? So and that was part of, your individualism story, whether it be an ag teacher, parents, whoever it is. When you're really instilled that understanding of how to listen, you can become that better communicator and that better speaker, and then of course better leader as well. And that's, I think the skill of listening was something that when I started to really hone that, and I think it's something I learn probably more and more every year, at least I hope so, but listening to those around you and being able to communicate in a meaningful way, it really did shape my abilities to connect with students that I had later on in life, to connect with community members, and now hopefully connect with different agriculturists, stakeholders across the state.
And when I visit with somebody and they say, well, I don't really have anything to do with agriculture, I said, do you eat? Do you eat? If you go to the grocery store and you're buying food, if you're in agriculture education and FFA, you'll better understand your food and the food choices you make and how your food is produced. And why would we not want to know where our food comes from and have an understanding? There's a huge movement to understand where your food comes from. But it's more than just saying it came from this farm, which is nice to be able to do, but understanding the production behind it and GMO and non-GMO, whatever issue you're dealing with, but to truly understand it, and the students in agriculture education classes get the opportunity to explore those agricultural issues, explore where their food come from, and have an understanding when they're going to a grocery store or having a conversation with somebody else about what's important in selecting food. It doesn't come from the back of the grocery store. It comes from somebody's out there producing it and working hard to make it the best they possibly can.
Just those skills that you get are extremely important. Maybe it's not a career, maybe it's just enhancing your life as a consumer down the road. So a lot of fun.
And there's so many different areas of that, whether it's soils judging, range judging, understanding the grasses to landscape your yard. My 2 kids that are in FFA right now are doing nursery landscape, and neither one of them have a lifelong desire to do that as a living, but they're going to know what plants will work in their home and landscaping their yard someday, and understand the importance of soil and how to put your yard together and grow appropriate turf, and all kinds of information on that. Even though they're not doing it for a living, it's valuable life skills.
And so we come together here at the State FFA Convention every year in Brookings. A lot of it held on the campus of SDSU. There's so many different things kids are doing here.
There's a lot going on, and we have 2,500 students coming to campus, and our goal is to provide them an educational learning opportunity, and that's an opportunity to network with each other, network with industry, and to develop career skills. The STARS, the state FFA degrees, will be awarded. Keynote speaker, our national FFA officer, will be there to motivate our youth, and our state officers, of course, during their retiring addresses and sharing their exciting experiences from that the year.
What a cool event, and that's just a couple of days. Obviously, it's a couple of big days in FFA, but there are things like this going on year-round in FFA.
You know, you hear so many scary things and negative things happening today with our youth, and it's just inspiring to see these young people that are so hopeful and so dedicated to serve the future and feed the future. And they look at it as a challenge, and they know it's a big challenge, but they're not afraid of that challenge, and they're willing to step up and take the bull by the horns and make it happen.
Obviously, Team Ag Ed in South Dakota must be really clicking on all cylinders. We added 7 new chapters this year. Is that?
Yeah, we did.
I didn't even know that's possible. That's amazing.
And it's been a challenge too to be able to try to find individuals to step into those leadership roles within the education side of things. We have teachers that are stepping in and helping local communities establish those as well, which isn't maybe an ideal situation for that long term, but that need for that agriculture education and FFA involvement is so alive and well across the state that we have people stepping up, whether that be administration stepping up into different roles. We have a lot of ag teachers that are helping their neighbors, or even offering some online classes across the state, so kids can have that educational component. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of unique challenges that we need to address, and a lot of that is how do we keep, but also how do we attract and how we bring in our students to be those educators? Because when you have that high functioning ag teacher at the local level, it's lights out what a program can do, and it's every community has their challenges to be able to keep that, but that's ultimately what we need to do. We have a great foundation that helps support those staff members and what we're doing. So a lot of great things are happening, but I hope we're at a point where the growth is not going to be overshadowed by the growth of quality as we get going too, because if we build too much too soon, I'm afraid we're not going to be able to keep true to our roots in what we're supposed to be doing too.
With a choice in the morning. We either go the first mile, do the bare minimum, and just get by, or we be truly grateful for the people and the opportunities around us, and we go the second mile. South Dakota FFA, how will you go the second mile?
Hi, I'm Bridget Lummel. I'm a reporter for the Faith FFA chapter, and I'm here to talk to you about FFA. FFA promotes next generation leaders who are willing to stand out, providing responsible decision-making skills, courageous yet humble members of society who are willing to step up to the plate. FFA puts selfless people back into a harsh world. Leaders in FFA are hardworking and will instill in people quality, personality, and kindness. Join FFA today and come have some fun with us too. For more information, contact your school's FFA advisor.
FFA is a co-curricular activity. It's not extracurricular, right? Explain that a little bit for the folks that aren't familiar with ag education and FFA and what that means to be a co-curricular program.
Yeah, so obviously we kind of cover the basics in class. We get to show them all of these really cool things. And then if students particularly like, so food science we cover, meat science, we talk about vegetable production, dairy foods. If they particularly like dairy foods, they can be a part of FFA and specialize a little bit more into that. They're pulling the same basic topics that we've talked about, but they get the more hands-on, detailed, specialized. It's starting to be more so your students and your children are always going to be going to the grocery store to buy food. Understanding what those labels and those products are, where they come from, or even if you enjoy gardening, if it's growing vegetables or growing flowers, it doesn't necessarily have to be a career choice, but even like a hobby to have. Owning a dog and a cat, being able to understand their health and how to help them and that kind of stuff is really something important.
Yeah, we take a lot of tests throughout the year. I believe we went to 5 contests, and a lot of the tests range from about 60 to 100 questions. We got 4 of us on the team, and 3 of us are cadets. We've been doing it for the last 3 years as juniors, and we got 1 new guy that's a sophomore that he just started, and he's been really rocking and rolling.
So we're hoping here at state convention that you can maybe get on stage, crack the top 10 or something along.
Yeah, I'm sure Caden's going to get top 10. I wouldn't be surprised on that one, and we got good odds at doing good. We've been placing well.
So what about your team? Have you guys been placing as a team at the other competitions?
Yeah, we've been placing about top 3. We've been winning a lot. Will Lake's been doing really well too. Yeah. We've been fighting back and forth with them guys, but.
And then if your team wins, you end up getting a trip then to the National FFA Convention, which would be next fall. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be huge to go there.
Yeah.
We went previously this year just to go experience and have fun, and that was a ball.
Awesome. And one of the cool things we started to talk about it, kind of like in other sports, you meet people from other schools, you compete against other schools. There's 2,500, 3,000 FFA members here. I'm sure you've met people from other towns. That's kind of part of the fun part about FFA, don't you think?
Yep, it's a ball. I've made so many friends through this. You see a lot of friends and everything here.
Right, people that will probably be lifelong friends because they're people that are, not necessarily forced upon you as friends like maybe in your hometown, but they're people that are involved and have like-minded interests as you. Like, I know you like mechanics, you like doing some farm business stuff, you like cattle and that sort of thing, and you're meeting other kids with like-minded interests, and they're all over the place, right?
Yeah, and there's just a lot of diversified kids here that, you can find a lot of interests within.
Well, you were an ag teacher for a few years. I was an ag teacher for a few years, and that's the thing about being an ag educator. You can impact those youth, but there's also so many opportunities out there for people with an ag education degree and how you continue to serve. And this year, we actually are implementing a brand new award. Nationwide has come to us, and they're sponsoring the Golden Owl Award. So Tuesday morning, we're recognizing 7 ag teachers with the Golden Owl Award, 1 from each district, and then we're selecting the overall South Dakota FFA Ag Educator of the Year award, and Nationwide is recognizing them and providing them a spectacular trophy and a check for $3,000 to thank them for what they're doing.
Tell us more about what the foundation does and how they help out ag education and FFA in general.
The South Dakota FFA Foundation is a board of ag teachers and industry representatives that volunteer to help find funds to support the FFA mission. So we have right now right over 500 industry donors that support FFA. We'll be sharing on our stage tonight that we have over $550,000 this last year raised to support FFA. That's through scholarships, convention support. State convention gets over $70,000 to make it happen. Leadership retreats, camps, state fair, jackets for FFA members and local chapters. We have grants that go to local FFA chapters to do community service projects to help them with something that they just need to get that they're unable to get through their local school, district officer training, state leadership. We fund all of those events and help connect our members with industry. There's a lot of things that are out there that we need to fund that we're not able to do at present that we're hoping donors come on board and help us make happen.
It'll be money well spent if they come and help.
Absolutely. There's a lot of exciting things that we're able to support, but teachers are also reaching out with us like, could you support this or could you support this? Could we have supervised agriculture experience grants to help students get started? That's one of our goals that we'd like to do. We're also looking to fully endow our second state association staff position, our leadership and program manager position. So we're in the process of a campaign to fully endow that. It's a big goal, but people have stepped up and we're making progress in that regard, and we hope that more people step up and help us meet that goal to fully endow that.
I think the main thing that I hope for these young people that are here today is that they hopefully they come to SDSU, but more importantly that they understand the importance of being a lifelong learner, and that they after they graduate from high school they do a post-secondary education of some kind, and then after that they continue to learn the rest of their lives, because FFA is all about learning. And some of those young people probably understand cattle breeding better than I do right now, but it'll change in their lifetime, and they'll have to have a culture of internal core value of lifelong learning, and then have that expressed as active learning the rest of their lives. That's really what I hope for.
Taylor rides just as well as any